Saintess summons skeletons. By Morn. Chapter 691 No clip. Watch me kick the Kleptra's nest, I wonder how they'll react to this. Sofia thought as she fell. That arch must be wondering if I'm living in their walls. Sofia tried to access Paritha's vision but that somehow failed, so she just grabbed Pestle from her head instead as she fell. Seriously, you could have gotten yourself killed, why would you insult him like that, she asked the fairy. Kill? Not kill, Pestle denied, son. Pestle very not kill. Klepra stupid, deserve insult. Aha, true, I did forget about that for a moment. Let's just agree not to insult the Kleptra anymore, alright? We have enough enemies as is, don't you think? Deserve is deserve. Pestle disagreed, crossing her arms as the duo fell through a thick layer of cloud that completely obscured whatever might be below. After falling through the cloud, Sofia discovered that despite the removal of the ground, the contestants had not in fact been sent flying to an infinite void, as she had somehow entered some kind of giant cylinder, like the interior of a tower. The marble-ish white walls were smooth and with nothing to grab onto. She looked down, and it seemed there were things far down below, but despite Sofia's incredible eyesight, they were still hard to make a sense of. He could have explained the rules. Let's see, I still can't fly or teleport. Sofia altered her wings, filling up the space between the bones with more bone. If she couldn't use them to truly fly, at least this would give her more control of her fall. Why she hadn't been able to see things clearly started to make sense, as she could feel she was gradually picking up speed, meaning that she was falling tremendous distances, possibly affected by some kind of ever-increasing gravity. Soon she fell far down enough that she was able to see what the things below were, and it was much stranger than anticipated. It all started with a system-like warning written in transparent red letters on this air. Splatterfall, Level 1, the forest. Alright, I think I get the rules. Beyond the warning was a forest of giant mithril leaf trees, growing from all around the cylinder. The middle was fully clogged by the concentrated canopy of leaves, and falling through this was a good way to end up a minced meat. A falling game. Sofia's wings shifted, and she slowly fell closer to the border of the cylinder. Just weave through the trunks on the way down. Easy enough. As one would expect from the first level of anything, that was simple. Sofia thought as she fell by the last row of trees and found herself in an empty section again, still picking up more speed. I can't seem to slow the fall at all. Oh well, I should go back to the center for level 2. Level 2, the city. A sprawling city extended down, like the forest before, built around the inside of the cylinder, or more accurately, bent to fit in, with the houses' foundations being way large than their roof, making it look like a triangular city. This time the center is safer. Kind of. There were many towers and bridge-like structures that extended through the middle, leaving no clear way down. On the contrary, Sofia immediately noticed that some of the easier ways down seemed to be the small alleyways between the houses. But they are narrow, so you really can't afford to mess up the positioning even a little. Quite confident in herself, Sofia positioned her wing parallel to her body and made her entrance into the city through one such narrow gap. The alleyway carried her a long way down before she needed to veer back toward the middle. She spent a bit of time swerving through the towers in the middle, encountering her first other contestant. Ouch! That looks painful. They had landed against one of the towers. The blood splatters painting a significant section of the city red. Even if it had been someone Sofia knew, she would have been unable to tell because there was so little left of them aside from a giant bloodstain. Last time I fell this fast I created a magma crater on the moon. Sofia continued to fall through the city, passing through a market section and a part with big noble mansions and garden statues. Finally came this level's final enemy, the royal castle, which occupied the integrality of the cylinder's width. Judging by the red splatters, at least one more person had died there. Lots of broken windows, we're supposed to go through the inside. With very little time to decide where to go, Sofia steered her fall toward one of the already broken windows that seemed to lead into a wide open space. Ballroom. Almost no obstacles. Sofia tried to grab a plate on one of the banquet tables on her way down. The plates and the food on them defied gravity to stay on the sideways table, so she was curious. Instead of gaining a plate, she left the tip of 3 of her fingers behind. They got ripped off, stuck under the side of the plate as the rest of her body kept falling. My curiosity got the best of me again. She replaced the lost fingers with bone implants and focused on her fall, slipping through another broken window on the other side of the ballroom. Level 3, the cavern. This level was relatively simple, with stalagmites and crystals to avoid in almost complete darkness, which was not an issue to anyone capable of producing light. For Sofia, she did not even need that, her dark vision being good enough to easily find her way through. A section of the cavern featured giant mushrooms and thorn-covered plants, but Sofia fell through it at such speed that it barely even registered. It's hard to keep count, but I think at least 2 people died here. She barely had time to think as her speed was still increasing, meaning the 4th level came in a matter of seconds. Level 4, the dungeon. This fully indoors level featured falling through rotating blade, swinging axe traps, arrows being fired from the walls, spikes sprouting from the sides and safe-looking paths, and many such niceties. Sofia navigated through them without much trouble still, not even needing to activate the 3rd level of Runeforged Overlord. In fact, she had to remind herself that this was supposed to be a dangerous event, as she started to have a lot of fun narrowly falling in the tight gaps between deadly traps. Before she realized it, she zoomed past the final set of traps, and it was already over and she was in an empty section again. Oh man, just when it was starting to be good. Below, the cylinder was almost fully sealed with a single circular opening barely wide enough for a person to fit through. This could clip my wings if I'm not careful. Someone seemed to have missed the final hole, at least partly, as fleshy remains stained the lip of that entrance. For Sofia, this was still easy even with the extreme speed, and she entered the final hole with Pestle latched onto her back. The narrow tube she was now in filled with water as she fell, until she was fully submerged. After several violent uncontrolled turns, she was expelled from the tube, landing into an indoors pool. The walls were all white tile with blue accents just like the changing room at the start of the event, and there seemed to be nothing there aside from these blank walls, the sound of running water, and randomly placed iron guardrails. Not what I expected, Sofia commented, observing her surroundings as she sat in the pool. Eternal lights, times survived, 24. Nice. Everyone made it through. Anyone there? Sofia called out, but nobody answered. Spreading her mana senses, Sofia could find nothing but more and more randomly shaped similar rooms with pools of stagnant water. We're alone here, it seems, she told Pestle who sat on her shoulder. Here more very kill, mana ugly like klepra, no leg. Need escape. Mana ugly. Sofia repeated, having not noticed anything at first. Upon closer inspection, she realized what Pestle meant. Ooh, you're right, the mana in the water is strange. Like a tiny curse? We should probably get out. Sofia walked out of the pool and molted out of the outermost layer of her bone armor to shake off the cursed water. Only then did she come to the realization that there were plenty of openings letting water into the strange rooms, but none letting it out. There was a flood toggle, hey. Makes sense. Parith, can you hear me? I just got to the weird pools. I still have the link but can't feel your position at all nor look through your eyes. You can try teleporting to me if you want, if not be on your way out, the place is getting flooded with cursed water. You probably already knew that but it doesn't hurt to make sure. See you soon. Her message sent to the ether, she scanned around some more with her mana senses. I don't see any obvious way out. Every room feels the same, goes several floors up and down too, any idea? Pestle shook her tiny skull, idea? No need idea. Kill wall. Escape. Chapter 692, practically made for the job. Killing the walls did not work. Even Pestle's sharp claws failed to leave a single scratch, and the Sofia couldn't summon the graveyard nymphs to go through, leaving her with no choice other than going about this the regular way. She summoned the birds and the rats and sat down in the slowly flooding room while they searched the place faster than she ever could herself. All right. We have some downtime here. Getting out of here can't be too hard surely. Why not use the free time to do some advertising? Advertising? Bookie repeated, sitting in front of her with Pestle on his lap. Of course. Let's see. Live spectator count, Sofia Afinareth, 27,305. Yeah, almost 30,000 people watching us do nothing right now. If it isn't the perfect time to get some messages across, I don't know what is. Are you gonna ask for skeleton? Not what I had in mind, but that certainly is an option. What I wanted to do was something else though. Now that everyone knows about us, it is going to be impossible to hide. We can say goodbye to our peaceful life, but that has some advantages. To begin with, I think this is a good time to remind the people watching about all of our generous backers. We wouldn't want anyone to get any funny ideas. Like the thanks at the beginning of a book? Bookie asked. Pretty much. So let's see. You who are watching, if you want to start shit with me, my close friends or family, here are some people who might come after you. To begin with, we have my grandma, Aredes. I think that ought to deter most adventurous people already, but just in case, I'll give you the comprehensive list. For dragons, we also have Zephyr, and Philip I would assume, perhaps also Headmaster Belly News. Though we are not that close, I am on good terms with all three. There is one more but I am not at the liberty of disclosing it right now. No fairies aside from Pestle here, but I am open to diplomatic talks, especially since I will be coming later to retrieve the Wheel of Progress. Do feel free to send a messenger or something. In terms of the Kleptras, I cannot go into details again, but Seraph Zegat seems to have shown particular interest in one of my friends. Do feel free to reach out also. Of course getting a Kleptran skeleton would be great, but I wouldn't dare touch one without your royal's direct approval, so. Yet I will leave it at that. That's it. Bookie exclaimed, what about Uncle? Of course that's not it, we're just getting started. Next we have our more grounded allies and friends, again in no particular order. We can count on backing from Richard, better known as TLDR, I guess, as well as Saintess Valor. I would take out my badge of the Saint Alliance, but I do not have my items right now. I'm also on good terms with Lever Leonmal, and would love to get to know more apostles. Saint Tartaros would probably be at least mildly annoyed if something happened to me, as I'm sure he is eagerly waiting for the day in the Futra when we have a proper duel. Professor Eternam Aoldun is a friend also. I hope you opened my last letter, by the way. I also have the backing of the Red Wines Empire and Vasperia, for what that is worth. And lastly, among the Seraphs I am on good terms with at least Sen. I truly appreciate what you did for me back then. You still forgot the uncles. Bookie cried out as Sofia stopped to catch her breath. Bookie, I'm keeping the best for last. Besides, they all know. So, next. On the godly side, I am on good terms with Sun, Victory, Creation, Moon, Knowledge, and Speed. And I am hoping to add at least Blood, Sleep, Water and Progress to that list. And I suppose Life, also. But she has more pressing things to worry about at the moment. On the recessed side, I am proud to call myself Sorrow's daughter, as I'm sure you have all witnessed. But I also have the support of Death and Taxes, and at least a positive relationship with Rejection, Curse, Hatred, Dread, and Domination. Other recessed, please show up in Cynthia's chat if you would like your name added to the list. Bookie scratched his skull. I didn't realize we knew so many people. This is just the list of the strongest, most well-known ones, but yes, we have made quite a few allies in our quest to return scripture to the void, haven't we? I know you're probably watching, by the way. You know what I think about you. I hope you count the days in dread. I will be coming for you, and once I'm done playing with your corpse, Bookie here will feast on your bones to make you our eternal slave. Please wait patiently. Yummy. And last but not least, the reason many people are watching to begin with, my namesake. Yes, I am Aphinaretha's adoptive daughter, and have personally met with all four of the lords, Sofia said with an innocent smile. I believe nothing more needs to be said about that. Uncle Orator even created me. True. That kind of makes you a demi-lord, now that I think about it. I'm just a book. Bookie corrected, shaking his skull. Technically true. Want to add anything to the conversation, Pestle? You haven't said much. Pestle stood up on Bookie lap, her tiny frame radiating a menacing aura. Fey ones. If try kill Sofia or Bookie, I Ravager 1, hunt you an ancestor like Klepra until am last one alive. Warned, she announced with her arms crossed. As she sat back down, Sofia noticed the water starting to overflow out of the room's pool and slowly creeping toward her feet. It's relatively slow, we maybe have an hour ahead of us? Not what I expected, but I appreciate it, Pestle. Let's hope we won't need to go there. We will also hunt anyone who tries to harm you. Very hunt, Pestle contentedly repeated with continuous nods. Well, that was a bit longer than expected. Now for the other announcements. I will be creating a small city-state at the southern end of the human continent, just west of the Spirit Forest. There is not much there for now, but I hope to make it a thriving place in due time. I will be looking for someone to help me with city planning and administration shortly. All undead welcome. A city-state. Bookie repeated. Yes, like a small country I would be the ruler of. I always wear a crown, a scepter and a cape, after all, so I already dress the part. I'm still a bit weak for the job, I suppose, but I assume I can reach level 400 by the time the city is up and running. Sofia stopped to think for a bit. I also would like to remind all divinities watching once again that I am looking for more divine essence. I can also offer my services to clean up any corruption sprouting from the remains of a dead god, no matter which plane it's in. Speed can vouch for my abilities on that front, price negotiable, just send me a message. It will be a surprise to no one, but I am also interested in buying skeletons. Sofia finished her main speech by advertising her friend's business like Alitha's potions and Zire's school, and spent the rest of the time just having a casual chat with Bookie and Pestle. When the cursed water just about reached her waist, it was finally time to stop as the rats had found the exit. That's enough chatter for today, let us resume this event. Ergak must be getting impatient. As Sofia stood up, she checked the number of spectators a second time. Wait, it actually went up? I just spent half an hour sitting and talking about random shit, and the number of people watching rose by 3,000? What is wrong with these people? In another place, a certain red-skinned orc was drowning under endless text messages. Unclean Lord, I swear, every time she says Lord I look at my nickname and feel like a fraud. It might be time to change it. Oh. Twisty face, calling yourself a lord, what could possibly go wrong? Unclean Lord, hey, I picked this name before I even knew they were a thing. Lord is an actual word, you know. The unjailed, I don't think it matters too much as long as you don't mess up like I did. Resounding echoes, it's fine, who here wouldn't try to fucking break causality to save their cute avian daughter, am I right? The unjailed, I regret nothing. My daughter is the cutest. Daddy hatred, stop writing in all uppercase you freaks, you pollute Cynthia's chat. Unclean Earl, I guess that will have to do. Crybaby, so. Is anyone going to donate? Half cease, paid my due already. Crowface, I have to admit your daughter has good tastes. Why do you yourself not give more, though? Crybaby, it would be bad with how I managed her apostle form. But I will be able to as soon as this trial is over. Sleepy mess, are we finally going to see if Bars is right about what the quantic transposition skill is? Tall bro, puts on glasses. I'm more curious about the looming situation, it's been a long time since we've had a new stable presence. About that. Chapter 693, Lumion Cockroach. Sofia followed a trail of skeleton rats to the exit of the strange labyrinth of pool rooms. Locating it required to go through a winding path up and down several levels multiple times, before swimming down a dark hole in the ground at the end, the bottom of which was obscured by some kind of darkness magic. Well, that was easy. Didn't even get to know what the curse in the water does. Sofia thought as she swam down the hole. Eternal lights, times survived, 27. No way, someone didn't make it. Parath? Is it you? Is this why I can't see your vision? Sofia kept swimming down, following the link to the few of her skeleton who were already out of the water. Or so she thought, as she felt gravity turning around, down was up and up was down, and before she knew it, her head was out of the water. A few skeleton birds and rat floated nearby, on an endless calm ocean under a red sky. That brings back bad memories. I think I liked the cursed water better than the salty ocean, Sofia complained as she looked around. The question is, what do we do now? Wings still no working. I don't see anything anywhere besides water. Pestle climbed on top of Sofia's head and also looked around from that vantage point. No leg, she announced as she sat back down on Sofia's helmet, holding her horns. Maybe Ergak isn't done preparing the next sport yet. Sofia. Bookie called out. Found something. I'm tired of swimming, I'm going back. Sure, rest well, be prepared to summon the fishes soon, we might need them. Bookie nodded and disappeared. A long minute passed, and Sofia could only guess that the event had not started yet, when she felt something change. Her wings worked again, and so did the other sealed skills. Aside from Parath missing, everything was back to normal. Oh, nice. Taking a few steps up, she walked up to the surface of the ocean. Better. I'm guessing this means the party has started. Is some kind of sea monster going to attack? She wondered, scanning the water with her mana senses. Ack! Sofia! Pestle cried out, pulling on her horns. Sky! Sofia looked up. Oh! We're really stretching the definition of sports here, aren't we? A dark mass blotted out a significant portion of the red sky right above Sofia. It did not look like it was moving, but it gradually grew larger. This one is a bit more serious than the falling sky from before. How big is this thing? Can't even call it a meteor, at this size it's like another planet altogether. Is the intended solution to just fly away? Is it even possible to run away? Just in case that was it, Sofia started to fly in a random direction as fast as she could, only leaving out the last tier of rune-forged overlord for now. I could try to swim back down. Not sure that would do much. A piercing bolt? I don't have that much time. And this looks just a bit too large to pierce through. An explosive one is like throwing a pebble at a mountain. Stopping for an instant, she summoned a bone platform on the water for the graveyard nymphs to appear on, and had a look into the spirit plane. The thing incoming was even scarier in the spiritual plane, like a huge white ball of screaming ghosts. Neat, she commented as she unsummoned the nymphs and started flying again. Well, the runes would probably save me, but I'm not sure that won't disqualify me. I'm at a loss here. There's maybe 30 seconds left. There's no sun. I could give a few seconds of immortality to one of Bookie's skeletons, but then what? Is that enough to stop a whole planet? Sound unlikely. Sofia went through her entire skill set several times, but she failed to find a way to survive that did not imply using her unlife runes. She had to admit that the collision of two planets was a bit too much for her to handle at the moment. No matter how fast she flew, the thing overhead barely seemed to move, which meant she would never be able to escape in time, so she stopped. Pestle, any ideas? We very die, Pestle think. No idea. Yeah, sounds about right. This might just be a forced end to the event. Just to be sure she had gone through all of her options, Sofia tried teleporting to Zangdar. Of course that did not work. And in a similar fashion, the painted halls were accessible for her skeletons but not for herself. There was no escaping to the margin allowed. The rejection trick. Too weak. Make the sandworm skeletons immortal for a few seconds and hope they can burrow deep enough in that time to soften the blow? No, I can't see that working either. Well, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I don't believe it will work. But it's worth a shot. Sofia summoned a large empty sphere of bone from the painted halls and sat inside with Pestle. Inside she summoned more bones. Quickly thicken the walls, just enough that the graveyard can use it as ground. There we go. That done, she moved her mana heart to the middle of her belly, and created an opening in her armor. Pestle, give me a hand, cut my skin right there, from here to here, not deeply. Cut. With a single claw, Pestle drew a straight line in Sofia's skin, some bloodite spewing from inside. Great, still above 99% health. Was a good call to dispel and recast the runes to heal my fingers back in the pools. Before the skin could heal and stick back together, Sofia gently shoved her fingers in the wound, and caught her mana heart, which was right behind the skin. She pulled it so it was halfway out of her belly. Setup complete. Controlling the bone sphere, Sofia created an opening at the top to look outside. The incoming dark planet was getting dangerously close, burning brightly as it entered the atmosphere. Perfect. Now the nymphs. The skeletal nymphs appeared inside of the sphere next to Sofia and Pestle, moss and mushrooms starting to grow around them in the sphere as Sofia was too busy to care about the details. Sixth melody. 80% of Sofia's mana disappeared as a cold melody spread on the surface of the ocean. The air started to scream as the planet drew closer. The temperature quickly rose. The ocean started to bubble and boil, steam rising in thick clouds, the bone sphere splintering under strain, barely held together by Sofia's aura. Pestle. When I give the signal, destroy my mana heart and immediately return to the halls. All right? You need to destroy it in one hit. Leg heart? Pestle ready. Great. Just wait for it. We have to time this right. The planet came closer and closer. A shockwave slammed Sofia and Pestle flat against the bottom of the sphere, water erupting into towering geysers all around them. Sofia closed the sphere back as it was sent flying. Pestle now. Sofia held Pestle close to her mana heart. To be sure to follow Sofia's instruction, Pestle couldn't just bite into the mana heart, her mouth was too small. Instead, she unleashed a straight punch directly into the center of the mana heart, shattering it to pieces. Sofia's body shattered with her heart, but she focused on keeping her mana in order, heat death preventing her from losing it. As she was reduced to a sliver of health, the sixth melody propagated the soul damage in a gigantic area, the range of the skill multiplicated 20 times over by Pillar of Creation. Hopefully that's enough. The graveyard nymphs died from the soul attack, but Sofia immediately used her remaining mana to get one of them right back out before the skill event deactivated itself. The RESP nymph grabbed the remnants of Sofia's mana heart amidst the chaos, and Pestle disappeared into the painted halls. With a fraction of health left, Sofia was pulled into the spiritual plane as the two planets collided. The screaming ghostly mass of the dark planet was no more, at least not on the surface, completely wiped out by the sixth melody. Unable to move, Sofia and the nymph holding her could only wait as even the spiritual plane shook from the collision. No longer having a physical ground to exist in, the graveyard nymph was sucking up all of Sofia's mana in a continuous fight against the spell collapsing. But even that was in vain. Soon the mana ran out, and the leftover bits of Sofia's mana heart were forcefully pulled back into the physical plane, reappearing inside of a sea of superheated plasma. Sofia was about to die, and she could feel, right then, that the unlife runes were not going to help. Like many other things, they were disabled. Right before the plasma consumed her mana here as she phased back into the physical, she dispelled all of her unlife runes. 10% health per second. That's how much her aura healed her, with radiance doubling the heal. Without mana and powerless to do anything else, she watched as the plasma devoured her mana heart again and again as the healing endlessly fought back against it. Plasma was something she was very resistant to begin with, thanks to her insistence on throwing compacted chunks of it as her main means of attack for years, and with the absurd healing potency of her third specialization, somehow, she just about managed to reach an equilibrium here, in this mess of energy at the collision point of two planets. Eternal Lights, Times Survived, 28. Chapter 694, Sudden Death. Did she survive? Saria asked, watching the two planets collide on the screen. It's not cutting off. Zafir scratched his stubble. Hard to say, he finally answered. You checked the historic first, right? Oh. Yeah, you think it's possible he survived? He didn't survive during our round, though. I kinda just assumed he got lucky in his real run and his entire team survived the whole way through. Well, from what I understand, it is quite a rare occurrence, but he does survive sometimes. So I think that might be what's happening here, Zafir explained, or your sister survived again, which honestly wouldn't even be that surprising at this point. Yes, pretty much everyone here predicted she would find a way to make it, Cynthia added, following her chat. Well, let's hope so, Saria said. Would suck if she lost her chance at the pin without even making it to the finals. I really want to see if she can repeat the victory stunt. That's what everyone is waiting for, Zafir said, but almost nobody seems to have much faith in her from what I've heard in the other rooms. Damn, really? I think she has a fair chance, Saria said. Is everyone underestimating her, still? No, but even then, just look at you, performed perfectly all the way up to the finals and we know how that ended. The track record for this one is just too bad. Victory was only you and Sen, but this one's had quite a few challengers. I think if I had a second try already knowing what I know I could do it. So it's not that out of reach, Saria said. What does the chat think? It's a bit more of a contentious topic, Cynthia said. Cautiously optimistic seems to be the general sentiment, but I think they're just trying to spare Sorrow's feelings. Well. We'll see, Saria said, staring at the screen. The view started moving again. We might get answered for this event soon. Exactly 1 minute after the two planets collided, the broken and half-molten pieces of Sofia's mana heart were teleported to a vast open field of green grass under a blue sky. It's over. The intense healing from her specialization quickly fixed her mana heart and regrew her body, bone armor included. In a few seconds, she was back to normal. Bookie's book form laid on the grass next to her, Victory's crown on top of it. Sofia picked them up, putting on the crown, and looked around. Still in the event, she noted, I don't see. Wait, is that someone else? While Sofia did not see anything other than grass as far as the eyes could see, she noticed the weak mana signature of another person, laying in the grass some 200 meters away. Crossing the distance in a single jump, Sofia found the badly burned body of someone. From the bone structure, Sofia could tell it was a man, and they were still alive, but it was hard to identify the person beyond that. Sofia crouched down and poked the charred husk. Hello. That seemed to wake the burned man. He moved, sitting up with difficulty, scales of his charred skin cracking and falling off as he did. Pestle finally came out of hiding, landing atop Sofia's head. Kill, she asked. I don't think we would even be allowed to, this isn't that kind of event, Pestle. They watched as the burned man's body slowly regenerated from the inside out. A sensor bar materialized out of nowhere to hide his private parts as his body regained a healthy hue. To think I'm not the only survivor. No wonder they recruited this guy. Hey, feel fine? I was not expecting another survivor, Sofia told him as opened his eyes. I have had better days, Sen answered. How did you survive that? I dodged the initial impact by hiding in the spirit plane. After that, it's just a high resistance to plasma and a very strong self-healing specialization, Sofia explained. What about you? Defensive signature skill. As long as I have mana I'm almost immortal. This really pushed it to the limit. I saw that. Did not expect you to make it through honestly. But I haven't seen you use much of your magic at all so far, so hard to judge. I like to keep it simple and subtle, Sen answered. Is the Kleptra around? Gak? Not that I can see. I healed up and went to check out the burned corpse right away. This might very well already be the next event then. Sofia shrugged. Probably. If I followed things correctly my team probably has more points than yours right now, though. I saw your team looking for a fourth member after the stairs. So I'm not too worried. If we both die now I win. Ahaha. I should have gotten better teammates. You're right, I'm at 24 points now. You? 28. Ah, well, I suppose I can take a loss. I was already not getting a master item anyway. Lost another round aside from the rooms? Sofia asked. Too many strong contenders this time. I really did not expect that so early, honestly, makes one wonder if the system was even needed in the first place when we have so many promising people around. Right. Well. Let's keep going, just because you are probably slated for second place doesn't mean you can't aim for a higher historic score for glory, right? Sofia asked, holding out a hand. Sure, let's see what that Kleptra has in store for us yet. Sen answered, grabbing Sofia's hand and standing up. Say. Would you happen to have anything I could use to cover myself up? If you don't mind wearing bone clothes I can quickly make something for you. Would be greatly appreciated, thank you. Sofia quickly made some kind of bone war skirt and chest plate for Sen to wear. Not what I'm used to, but this will do, thanks. You're welcome. What now? I imagine the issue will present itself soon like it did with the planet. Sen guessed. Maybe? It's nice to have some time to regenerate mana I suppose. Gak must have heard Sofia's words, as the issue presented itself already. Quite a distance from them, a few kilometers away, the ground erupted, as a creature burst out from underground. From afar, it looked like a very small Kleptra with fewer features. Oh, we are done, Sen said as he watched the creature shake off the dirt from its wings from a distance. Is that a young Kleptra? Sofia asked, starting to channel a piercing bolt. No, but not much better. This is a Kleptron drone. It's a monster, but with Kleptron heritage. Oh, like the drakes? Interesting. Pestle fight, but Sofia die, very danger. Pestle warned, pulling back on her horns. I know Pestle, I know. I'm pretty sure this is the point. I don't think we meant to survive the previous thing anyway. Might as well end it with a bang. It saw us, Sen noted, preparing a spell of his own. Great. We have plenty of sunlight. Bookie, we go with the Chimera tactics. Sofia's mana plummeted as 7 pages flew out of Bookie, draining all of his mist. An army of skeletons materialized between Sofia and the Kleptron drone on the open fields. There were 200 Kijikik guardians as the front line, 300 Kijikik soldiers behind them, 5 sandworms to control the terrain, and the high priest to give army-wide buffs. Additionally, Sofia summoned her choir of 5 huge sandworm skulls, which were much larger than Bookie's summoned ones. Pestle, you're up. Let's get this party started. The Kleptron drone charged with a deafening roar. It took a few short strides before disappearing, reappearing in front of the skeletons. In a spin and a tail swipe, half of the Kijikik army was sent flying into the air like toy props swept away by an angry child. The Kleptron drone disappeared again. Sofia froze the toy box. Oh fuck! In the special sight the time freeze gave her, Sofia now had the leisure to observe the drone's gaping open maws in front of her face. Pestle diving straight into it with her claws extended out. To her right, Sens was probably already dead, as the entire middle section of his body was missing, only the top of his head and his legs from the knees down remaining. Sofia had not even seen it happen. Yet, maybe, just maybe, we are a bit under-leveled for this one. Sofia summoned herself as far as she could to the left, hoping to extend the fight by even a second. The time freeze stopped, and the drone bit down on nothing, swallowing Pestle whole. If I can serve. The drone's scorpion-like tail fell on Sofia from above. Final score, Eternal Lights, times survived, 28. Sofia opened her eyes in an empty white space. Nay, that looked painful, Cooley reacted. Sofia laughed, did it? I didn't feel anything. I should have been immune to dying in one hit, but it looks like that didn't help. Your immunity probably worked, Morn commented. The thing had time to strike the spot you teleport to at least 5 times before the event ended, and not even that, it already struck that spot before you even appeared there. Some crazy shit. How did Sen die? No clue, Morn answered, the screen was focused on you, he just died while not even on the screen. You don't seem too mad about the loss. We probably still get first place, so. It was a humbling experience, I suppose. Who lost where? Cooley pointed at a dejected Parith laying sprawled on the floor. Nia, it seems our friend Parith is not too good at navigation or swimming. He was already here when we died in a planetary collision. Crazy that you survived that, by the way. Kinda wish I would have died earlier to see how you pulled that off. Let me get my best moping skeleton off of the floor and I'll tell you. Chapter 695, Lobby 1. Left alone in the group's room with Lepo again, Sofia went over the results a second time. Track record, Hot Summer Days, Event Rankings. Rank 1, Historic First, Eternal Lights, Times Survived, 28. Rank 2, Historic 5th, Holy Human Empire, Times Survived, 24. Rank 3, Historic 5th, Obsidian Mountain, Times Survived, 24. Rank 4, Historic 6th, God's Calling, Times Survived, 23. Rank 5, Historic 9th, Sandy Towels, Times Survived, 20. Detailed results for Eternal Lights. Tier 3 Event, Maximum Point Reward, 50,000,000 TP. Times Survived Reward, 50,000,000 TP. Bonus, Reached Extra Round, 10,000,000 TP. Total Earned, 60,000,000 TP. You have received Rank 1 Reward, Arc's Gold Star Pin *1. You have received 60,000,000 tournament points. Current balance, 308 111 126 points. It would have been nice if this was a higher tier event. The historic rankings are per times survived it seems, let's check. Oh wow! Not alone in first place. I don't see that Jewel of Truth guy's team anywhere but Sen also got 28 points on his real run. Saria and Tartaros got 27. For only having an S-rank Monoheart Cynthia has been keeping up astonishingly well. Hopefully that helps her keep up with Sis a bit easier. Thinking about it. They must both be watching everything here, right? I wonder what they think about my performance. And now. Next should be a solo event, then a last group, and the floor 100 ending. Probably solo. The Sky Merchant event should take a while to complete so we're going to have more free time on the Ark. Time to check the upgrades for the graveyard. Hey Lepo, Sofia called out to the furry merchant, can you really not tell me which master item my sister got? Lepo shook his head, sorry, I cannot even confirm or deny whether your sister bought one of them. Alright, won't pester you with it more than that. It's pretty obvious that if 3 have been bought she got one, though. Probably not the daggers so gloves or bracelet. Oh, unrelated, but seeing as you seem to have some insider knowledge on the system artisans, would you be able to tell me who made a few of my items? And who is that fairy hands who made my awakening pill? If I personally know the artisan I might be able to tell, but no guarantees. As for Lady Fairy Hands, I am not allowed to share anything, sorry. Understood, then I just want to ask about these items, Sofia said, bringing out her parts of the Saint set and putting them on his stall. I'm just curious who made these and if there is a way to know what the full set effect actually is. Lepo nodded and carefully examined the items, before pushing them back toward Sofia. Impossible to tell you who exactly made those, or what the set effect is. What I can tell is that what led to their creation is a bounty issued by the system itself as part of the Magical Arsenal program, which aims to push high-level artisan classes to keep honing their craft instead of just settling down with their accumulated wealth. Oh, so these could have been made by anyone. If you want to call the few people above level 450 with an enchantment-focused class, then yes. I couldn't really give you more data than that, but there are probably 10 to 20 people at most could enchant something so intricate. Interesting, thank you for the help again. I'll get back to my things. My pleasure. Hey. And Grandma didn't seem to know either. I guess I'll just have to find the other parts to know the full set effect. If it's true that Water Saint has a piece, then I only need to find the 2 more. Many such small things to do before the next trial. I need to prime this damned ring, also. It still hasn't shown me the location for its next meal. Is it broken or something? Sofia's vision suddenly warped, as the gluttony ring took over her senses. Oh, so I just needed to ask. Unlike the previous time, where the vision had started from space and closed in on the location on the hidden moon, this time it started in the middle of a foggy swamp. Feels familiar. The view slowly shifted, and the fog cleared as the vision showed a dark forest with huge black trees. The spirit forest. The vision entered the forest, moving between the giant black primus trees, going deep into these dangerous territories. It stopped in front of a hole in the ground, hidden under massive roots, and ended right there, giving Sofia her own eyes back. This should be a short trip. I wanted to explore the forest in more detail anyway. Since there were 3 parts of the Saint set on the tiny human peninsula, I wouldn't be surprised if the missing 2 were there somewhere too, and what better place for an item to be lost than in a dangerous dark forest. Enough getting sidetracked. Graveyard upgrade time. Skills available for guided optimization. Spine of the Black Sun. Graveyard of the Nymphs. False Immortality. Skill, Graveyard of the Nymphs, Skill version index SK_Gotro_2.0. Current version. Graveyard of the Nymphs, create a 834 meters, 3 * skill level, large and wide consecrated graveyard around the Saintesmancer, must be solid ground. The skeletons of the powerful nymphs are buried in the graveyard. They may surface to grab the Saintesmancer's enemies, incapacitate them or drag them underground. The skeletons have the relative strength and resilience of a level 278, 1 * skill level, paladin, and cannot inflict any direct damage. The nymphs grants the graveyard the capacity to highly bolster plant growth, and may spontaneously create plant matter. Requires a 4.02 seconds, 10, class level /50, channeling to deploy. Costs 100 mana per second to maintain. Available branches, same version. Lettered upgrades are mutually exclusive. 2.0a, the graveyard's casting time is now instantaneous, 10,000 TP. 2.0b, the structures of the graveyard are greatly improved, 10,000 TP. 2.0c, the graveyard no longer requires solid ground, 10,000 TP. 3.0, the graveyard's cost is now of 10,000 mana per second. The skill now adds its effects to your aura instead of being a standalone channeling, 100,000 TP. Request new branch, 500,000 TP base fee and branch cost. Change it to an aura buff? Does that mean it will move with me? It would also greatly improve the range. If I take that along the 2C variant, I could just always leave it active like another passive skill. That's not a bad idea. The mana cost could be a bit of an issue right now though. Even with the staff making it 5,000 a second, that's a real chunk of mana at the moment. Would be almost nothing after this trial, though. I'll just pick the C variant for now, and I'll take the 3.0 at the end of the trial if I still have enough points. You have spent 10,000 tournament points. Graveyard of the Nymphs has been optimized to branch 2.0c. Current balance, 308 101 126 points. Hey Lepo, sorry to bother you again, Sofia said. What bother? I'm the one standing in your room, you know. I just wanted to make sure, we will have time to buy things after the final event, right? Of course, a full week, in fact. To spend your remaining points however you want, Lepo confirmed. Good to know, thanks. Well, I'll go see what my skeletons are up to. Have a nice evening, Lepo. Thanks, you as well. Sofia spent 2 very uneventful days on the Ark. Everyone seemed to be getting a bit tired of the high pressure of the constant trials. The search for more master item hidden shops proved to be getting much harder now that only a few very well hidden ones must have remained. The entire team got to work searching for them, but despite finding a few hints here and there, no actual shop was found during this downtime. Eventually the next wave of events came, a bit different this time. There was no event choice, no warning. Sofia and Perith were sent to a changing room much like the one for the previous event, though the walls and furniture this time were of a dull grey, illuminated by a flickering ceiling light like the ones from the secret admin house. At least we're together in this one, Sofia told Perith, who had forcefully been swapped to his human skeleton yet again. Are your stats impacted? Perith denied it. Hey, nice. That's a positive then, since you like this skeleton better. Ideally we'd make you a heavy human skeleton somehow, would be nice. Maybe we can find some kind of thin ogre and you can size it down with the draconic shape-shifting. Anyway, let's get dressed. The rules seemed to be the same as last time, though Sofia did not even have Victory's crown this time, the only item of hers still present being Afineretha's glove and her regular clothes. The clothes provided now were rather plain, with traveling boots, black pants, and a featureless grey shirt. Still strange to see you dressed up like that, Sofia commented, but you also look a bit more imposing somehow. I guess the fabric hides the emptiness between the bones. When they were both ready, Sofia tried to open the door, only to be faced with their first system prompt since the start of the event. Please read the rules before proceeding. You have been selected for Lobby 1. Event, Last Man Standing. You will battle to the death with 99 other trialees. Ranking is determined by order of death. Your stats, items, and magic will be locked. Everyone will start with a starter kit of choice, and similar stats equivalent to that of a classless level 20 human. Defeating strong monsters, or other events may award participants with unlockers that allow you to regain the locked attributes. Trialees will also drop one unlocker upon death for every 2 they have used. There are no other rules. Available starter kits, please pick 1, 2 for twin rule set. Wooden arming sword. Wooden spear. Wooden round shield. Old bow and 5 wooden arrows. Speed potion. Healing potion. Oh. Level 20 human? With all skills and magic locked? The first person to get an unlocker basically just needs to unlock their stamina and instantly win the entire event with overwhelming speed and strength, no? We'll see how that goes. What do? We could take shield and bow as a good all-rounder option. Or you take 2 swords. Perith mimicked holding a spear. Spear? If you want. Maybe you take the spear and be our fighter at the start, I'll take the speed potion and try to get an unlocker as fast as possible. Sounds good. Perith nodded. They selected their kits, and received the items directly in their hands, a tiny vial with silvery liquid for Sofia, and a straight pointy stick a bit longer than 1.5 meters in length that could barely be called a spear for Perith. Looks underwhelming, but they're only useful to get the first unlocker, so I suppose it's fine. We just have to go in now. Hard to strategize without knowing the starting position or who else is going to be in the lobby. Please wait for all participants to be ready. 63/100. Chapter 696, Rare Useless Bones. When all participants were ready, the door opened, leading to a small round room with a circular platform in the center. Sofia looked up. No ceiling, blue sky, looks like we're some 50 meters underground. Perith stepped on the platform and Sofia followed. With the sound of spinning gears and grinding metal, the platform slowly started going up. It feels so strange to have all of my magic shut off. I feel heavy. Even my mana senses are stunted, it's really like I'm back to my orphan days. Even my racial skills are gone, I think. But the physical transformations are still there. I wonder if my wings will work. They might, right? Like, they wouldn't clip an avian's wings, surely. Without her mana senses and with no space to open her wings, she couldn't tell whether they were functional or not, but they were still there and she could move them. Please stay on your platform. All right? Strange message to get out of nowhere. The platform slowly reached the surface. There, Sofia observed the starting location of the event. So that's Lobby 1. This isn't going to be easy. Tartaros, Sen, Saria, Izarid, Happy Cloud, and more, every strong contender was present. That was Lobby 1, the strongest member from each of the strongest teams. They were all on similar round platforms at ground level, placed in a large circle in the middle of a clearing surrounded by forest. The platforms were about 10 meters apart from their two neighbors, and at the center of the clearing was a pillar of white stone about 3 meters high with a floating golden rotating key above it. A key. So the unlockers are literal keys? At least it's easy to understand. There's only one here. I wonder who will get it. Let's see. My fake sister took the spear. Happy Cloud has a bow. That winged beast woman from room 5 also has a bow. The others. It looks like a lot of people took the speed potion. Let's see. If we get the first unlocker, Parith can unlock his stamina or strength depending on how it works, and we start a massacre. I could also get my mana, but that's a dangerous bet. If wild casting is locked, we're dead. It's probably best to give up on this one. All of those who picked a speed potion will have to fight it out to get the unlocker, and if I and Parith go in there, especially taking double damage, this could end up very badly. There are no rules against teaming up. Saria might side with me, but even that isn't certain because of the gold star pins. Everyone is bound to attack us, be it because of the pin or just because we're the strongest contenders. Eliminating us early is without a doubt the best strategy. They might even form temporary alliances just to get rid of us. Yet, Parith, I think we both get half of the speed potion and escape into the forest as soon as the events start. That's our best bet. Fighting here is just too dangerous. We just have to hope the person who gets the first unlocker won't immediately chase after us. Parith silently nodded, he seemed to be of the same mind. Sofia nodded back and nervously caressed Bookie at her side. The poor skeleton was locked into his book form and could not even be opened currently. The participants all eyed the unlocker and each other, all ready to start at a moment's notice. But instead of a signal to start, someone they couldn't see started talking. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is ready. I'm your lovely host, Love herself. Presenting this new edition of The Last Man Standing. Another, more familiar voice sounded next, and I am Gak. Today we will be spectating Lobby 1. That's right. It's a special day. We've never had so many viewers at once, and I understand them. This edition is packed with some of our strongest imprints and contestants. Who is everyone betting on? Let's do a quick roundup of this edition's 4, or 5, real participants. First is Miranda. Gak announced, a bright light golden shining on one of the platforms. Oh, that tall dwarf, I remember her, she was in the final 60 last event. Couldn't have guessed she was real. It looks like the fakes aren't reacting at all to the announcers. It's only me, Izarid, and that vampire looking at Miranda. A serious contestant. Love commented, coming straight from the Dwarven Isles, and with the SS rank Mana Heart sponsored by Taxes, she performed admirably so far despite being outshined by other contestants. She secured an historic 19th for her team in the casino event. Best of luck for this event, Miranda. The dwarf nervously bowed, seeming to relax a bit as the spotlight on her moved to someone else, shining on the vampire next. Next, we have Jonathan Firewall, Gak presented. A contestant having a bit more of a hard time, Love said, it's not easy standing out with a S-rank Mana Heart in such harsh competition, but unlike the others here today, he has already awakened his Mana Heart, so everything he wins here is just more free things. Congratulations Jonathan, try to survive at least a little bit. Who knew Love was this trial's god? Isn't she one of the strongest gods? At least she sounds like she's having a lot of fun with this. Directly to his left, is Arid Rhodes. A rare Endorian contestant. He was quite unfortunate in his timing for the trial. A certain winner turned underdog, who could have thought? Reach this trial at just 16 years old, fostered by Progress himself, this is still definitely someone who has many eyes on him. Good luck Izarid, you're going to need it against our last participant. Indeed. Lastly, I present this edition's annoying troublemakers, Sofia and the steadfast skeleton Parith. Oh. Be careful about what you say, Gak, everyone is watching, you know? But yes, it's definitely the troublemaking duo. There is no god of chaos, but if there was one they would certainly be their emissary. Are they going to completely throw this event upside down like they did multiple others? Who's to tell? I don't care, Mid is doing all the cleanup. The favorites this time around without a doubt. Go Skeletons! I will be cheering for the Endorian instead. But enough introductions. Let this event begin. Ready, Sofia quickly downed half the speed potion and splashed the other half onto Perith's mana heart before they both turned around and bolted into the forest. About a third of the contestant decided to fight for the initial unlocker. Surprisingly, all the real ones escaped. What are they planning? The voice of Love echoed through the forest, continuing with her live commentary as Perith and Sofia ran. Nobody on our tail so far, I think. We need to find monsters fast. And we have our first death. Ah, as usual. Sonia Rotfallen's arrows are deadly. Right through the skull. She might steal the first unlocker this time again, but it looks like Saint Tartaros is also decided on. As Sofia and Perith ran, the voices of Ergak and Love faded, leaving them alone in the silent forest. They kept running in a straight line away from the starting point until Perith pointed at something. A ruin? A structure of white stone blocks overgrown with moss was hidden between the trees, some distance to their left. We go check it out. The two ran toward the structure, and Sofia immediately spotted the first enemy. A skeleton covered with moss, holding a steel scimitar, playing dead, sitting his back against a wall outside of the ruin. Even with all of her magic and senses stilted, she could tell this by how the bones looked that it was an undead. This might be our first unlocker. You're up, Perith. With no weapon, Sofia had no choice but to let Perith take care of the enemy. The skeleton started standing up when it noticed Perith was running straight at him with his spear up, but it was a bit too slow. Perith jabbed the wooden spear in between the two bones of the skeleton's left forearm, holding the scimitar. Unable to fight back, the undead fell as Perith kicked in his knees. Sofia was right behind him. As the skeleton fell, she stepped on his hand, further pinning his weapon down, leaving Perith free to use his hands to attack. Perith grabbed the skeleton's skull and slammed it against the stone wall. It shattered after 3 strikes. You have defeated Mossy Skeleton, leave 19. It's dead. No unlocker? Sofia quickly looked around, but there was no golden key to be seen anywhere. I suppose it wouldn't be so easy. Can't do anything with the bones sadly, but we're up a weapon. Perith grabbed the scimitar and gave Sofia the spear, and the two quickly checked inside of the ruin without exchanging a word. It was some kind of dilapidated old stone house. There was nothing interesting inside, just moldy furniture and some old pottery. They only spent a few seconds looking, every moment counted. Nothing else. Let's move. On their way out, Sofia threw another glance at the dead skeleton, just in case the unlocker took a while to appear, but no, there were still no golden keys to be seen, just a skeleton with a shattered skull. They started running again, quickly. The forest terrain started to shift, the trees became sparser, the air colder, and the ground was in a slight incline up. Can't see past the canopy, but looks like we're at the base of a mountain. Keep going for the vantage point? Sofia wondered, knowing that the stamina of a level 20 was going to be a huge limiting factor if she kept running uphill. She was already starting to feel some signs of fatigue despite the event having just started a minute ago. Chapter 697, 5 minutes to break a trial. Sofia decided to still go uphill. Locating an unlocker fast was too important, more than conserving stamina. Even with the current inability to look up her stats, she knew how much she could push a regular human body. Perith took the lead, holding her hand to pull her forward, helping alleviate the fatigue a little. They ran like this for about 2 more minutes before they finally found an end to the forest. The terrain suddenly changing to the base of a mountain, a thin layer of snow covering the ground and the top of the last few trees. Barely any cover if we go out there. But we should be the first reaching this far. We basically ran without stopping. Sofia took a few steps in the snow, looking left and right. A few small ruins. This out there looks like a church. And there's a fortified keep halfway up the mountain. Few roaming monsters. This hole here must be a bear's den. This might be our best bet. Think we can take on a bear without injuries? Sofia asked Perith. Without answering, Perith started walking toward the cave entrance. It was the closest point of interest, only about 100 meters away and not too far up the mountain. They made it to the entrance without a problem, but on the way Sofia noticed another person coming out of the forest further in the direction they were going toward. He's not seen us yet, I think. Trying not to be seen, Sofia and Perith quickly entered the cave, which turned out not to be a bear's den, but the one of a different monster entirely, some kind of large white-haired monkey, sleeping on a bed of dead leaves. We can kill that. Sofia and Perith approached as silently as they could. 3, 2, 1. Perith's scimitar fell on the monkey's neck while Sofia's spear stabbed at its left eye. The monkey woke up with a howl, the scimitar left a deep cut in its throat and the spear had crushed its eye. A paw swept at Perith's legs, while another grabbed the spear, crushing it into splinters. Sofia let go of her weapon, and Perith jumped over the strike. His scimitar fell upon the monkey's throat again. It tried to avoid the cut but its vision was impaired. Another cut was made on its throat, and it reeled back from the strike, flailing wildly afterwards to keep Perith away. A stone hit the monkey's head, courtesy of Sofia. It did not do any real damage, but it stopped his flailing for an instant. Long enough for Perith to get close again and strike once more. The scimitar perfectly aligned with the first cut. The scimitar clunked against the monkey's spine as it severed most of its throat. The creature twitched, gargling noises coming out of its throat, spewing red blood everywhere before it fell limp on its back. You have defeated Bigfoot, Leave 42. You have received minor unlocker *1. A floating golden key appeared over the monkey's corpse. Perith grabbed it and threw it back to Sofia. Minor unlocker, passive, unlock 1 passive skill. Passive. Perith's weapon of light? No, he has too little mana right now. He would only be able to use it for a few seconds. 6th melody is a mana percentage, so it's a good effect for the cost, but it's broadcasting our location. Think, quickly. Of course the specialization isn't counted as a passive anymore. Shit, risky bet, but I'll take it. You have unlocked the passive, Valkyrie's Rihafen of Sorrow. Let's leave. Sofia and Perith ran out of the cave, finding themselves face to face with a man wielding an iron spear. The same one Sofia had seen running out of the forest just moments before. Perith jumped in front of Sofia, ready to intercept a blow. But to their surprise, instead of trying to fight, the man spun around like a frightened cat and ran out. Sorry. I didn't know it was you. I have nothing. I'm not worth killing, he desperately yelled as he ran down the snowy hillside like a madman. Are we really that scary? Sofia asked herself, as she was covered in monkey blood without even a weapon in her hands. Let's go, no reason to go after him. We need to get to that keep as soon as possible. Perith nodded, and the duo ran up the mountain, checking the terrain behind them as they went. The event arena seemed to be a relatively large island with the forest and its clearing in the middle. There seemed to still be activity in that center zone, though Sofia couldn't quite tell what, as her vision wasn't as good as it normally was. The mountain they were on was on one side of the forest, with the zone on its right side being some flat plateau plains with plenty of ruins and what looked like a burned city, and the zone on its left being some kind of jungle swamp. Lastly, on the opposite, it was hard to tell from where Sofia was, but she guessed it was more of a desert-type arid area, though it only looked like a blurry yellow patch from her point of view. She counted 5 other people visible on the snowy parts of the mountain, all of them downhill compared to where she was, none of which she recognized from a distance. The one she had involuntarily scared off seemed to have ran back into the forest. As she kept walking up to the keep, now only some 50 meters away from its half-open gates, she noticed something strange, a fast-moving shadow over the snow. Comparing the position of the shadow and the position of the sun in her mind, she immediately realized the danger and looked up. Whatever cast that shadow was almost right above her. With the sun in her eyes, it was hard to stop the thing in the sky, but she noticed the whistling sound in time, and so did Perith. They both quickly jumped to the side, an arrow falling straight down into the snow right where Sofia would have been had she kept walking straight forward. It's that Sonia. Run! Arrows fell down one after the other. There weren't many, but they were always perfectly on Sofia's path as she and Perith ran through the ankle-deep snow. Sofia barely avoided the second arrow with a sudden stop, and Perith somehow blocked the third with his scimitar. It took 12 long seconds for Sofia to reach the keep's gate. A last and fourth arrow came down as she threw herself inside, sinking into her left shoulder from above. Perith closed the heavy wood gate shut as he entered after Sofia, and sealed it by pulling down the iron bar latch. That was bad. Perith made sure the area was safe, while Sofia sat, her back against the cold wall of the keep. With a grunt, she pulled out the arrow. It had barely missed her here, and penetrated the trapezius muscle until it hit the bone, stopping there. Perith turned back toward Sofia. I'm good, Sofia told him, getting up with some light difficulty. It hurts but my blood is still light. It was only one of those starter kit wood-tipped arrow. Perith nodded and pointed at the weapons racks lining the wall, as well as the main door facing the entrance. The keep seemed abandoned, most things old and in a relatively bad state but not in ruins yet. She probably won't pursue us inside. But we should get those arrows. Sofia thought, looking at the few quivers still hanging on the weapon racks. Perith nodded. He walked up to the wall and quickly snapped all the bows and arrows while Sofia walked up to the main door and looked through a hole in the rotten wood. Looks dangerous. Probably undead. A big knight in rusty full-plate armor was standing still in the middle of the keep's otherwise empty central room. We're meant to get a few minor unlockers and come fight this later, I assume. Perith, you sit this one out, be on the lookout for Sonia, Sofia ordered as she forcefully ejected the little mana she had. I will make the most out of those 5 minutes. Vakaria's Rihofen of sorrow. Her heart bursting out of her chest, Sofia bit into it. It was tough and cold, harder to chew than usual, but she swallowed it all the same, and the transformation started. She felt full of energy as her body morphed and her tail grew. These are no longer the stats of a level 20. Sofia burst through the door and crossed the distance toward the knight in an instant amidst the wood shrapnel and dust. She grabbed the knight's helmet before it could even lift its sword and forced it back, slamming it against the ground. The helmet was crushed between her palm and the floor, with a sickening wet and metallic noise. You have defeated Iron Keep Commander, Leave 243. You have received Major Unlocker *1. A large floating key with an orichalcum pink sheen appeared above the dead knight. Sofia grabbed it without a moment's waste. Major Unlocker, any skill, unlock any one skill including racials, specials, blessings, wild casts, and specializations. You don't need to tell me twice. You have unlocked the specialization, Sovereign of Unshackled Frames. 4 minutes and a half to unlock my mana or aura. Perith. Come climb on my back. We're out of here. As she reunited with Perith, the dead knight with its crushed helmet slowly stood back up. You come here. Wait in the halls. The armor fell back down to the ground, the twice-dead zombie inside now lacking a skeleton. Chapter 698, All Boned. Sofia's pulverized a side wall of the keep with a kick and jumped outside. She wasted no time scouting and jumped up toward the top of the mountain. Love's voice came into existence out of nowhere as Sofia and Perith took up some altitude. That transformation skills have historically always been one of the strongest early unlock as they often bypass the physical stat limitations. Remains to see what she is planning to do in the 5 minutes she. And before they knew it, it faded away again as they continued their ascension. In just 3 controlled jumps, they reached the peak of the mountain. There, a certain winged beast woman was peppering some kind of big ice-spewing lizard with arrows from above. She heard a bang as a cliffside broke when Sofia jumped from it, and turned her head to look, just in time to see a demon's sharp claws closing in with her face. She did not even get enough time for expression to change, receiving a deadly hug from said demon. Legs wrapped around her waist, one hand grabbed her shoulder while the other grabbed her head. Sofia then forcefully separated the two, taking a page out of Moon's book. You have eliminated Sonia Rotfallen. You have received Minor Unlocker *1. As she fell back down toward the lizard monster, Sofia put the 2 halves of the beast woman back together before its skeleton was sent to the halls, leaving a disgustingly bloody limping body in Sofia's grasp. She threw the corpse at the monster, open maw, which stopped it froze, spewing more frost at her as she fell. Shifting her tail and wings to spin once, she picked up some momentum, crushing the monster with a heel drop as she landed. The attack left a small crater at the top of the mountain. As for the lizard, there was not enough of it left to even turn to a skeletal thrall. You have defeated Thin Blood Frost Drake, Leave 253. You have received Major Unlocker *1. Quick! Sofia grabbed the 2 key that had appeared from he kills, one silvery one which had fallen under where she had killed Sonia and one mithril-colored hovering over the gory remains of the drake. Minor Unlocker, Substat, unlock any one substat or 33% of your maximum health. Major Unlocker, Main Stat, unlock any one main stat and all related substats. Huge. Sofia gave Perith the silver key and used the other. You have unlocked mana and related substats. Twin, has unlocked strength. Sofia's mana senses expanded to cover the entire island. More than half of the people still alive, I think? Hard to distinguish people from humanoid monsters. There are no skeletons underground, as one could expect of a fake island. But every monster they have killed. A creepy smile on Sofia's face, she monitored the skeletons coming to life, bursting out of the dead corpses of monsters everywhere on the island. I win. Form groups of 2 with the thrall closest to you. Attack anyone except Azarid and the 2 other real contestants. The thralls had about the same intelligence as the Kijikik skeletons, quite dumb, but they could follow simple orders. They all began moving according to her will. Perfect. 3 minutes left. That's all I need. Sofia deployed her wings. It had been faster to jump up to climb the mountain, but with her specialization back, she could fly again. She grabbed Paritha's left hand as she flew up. Now there were two options: she could either go for more unlockers, to monopolize the power on the island, or start hunting the remaining dangerous people like Sen, Tartaros, and Azerid. The thralls got their first kill while Sofia scouted the entire island with her mana senses. You have eliminated Elbow Gris. Let's go for the city. Someone is fighting the boss. Sofia relatively close to the ground, giving any thrall in the area an opportunity to use bone arsenal and become stronger. On the way to the city ruins, she located another person, fighting a snow monkey like the one she had killed previously. They seemed in bad shape. Is it worth the stop? Sofia wondered as she flew closer, since it was on her path anyway. To her surprise, stopping was unnecessary, as the person fighting the monkey suddenly stopped attacking, their steel blades starting to hack at their own face instead. Even the monkey was shocked, taking a step back in incomprehension as the person who had been attacking it a second ago was now skinning themselves alive. Sofia received a message as she observed the person below shoving both of their hands in the wound on their face and tearing their own face away. You have eliminated Sharam Ringles. The monkey fled, screeching with horrified cries as a bloody skeleton freed itself, coloring the snow red. Sofia chose not to stop in the end, continuing her flight toward the ruined city, and realizing that, yes, she was indeed that scary. More kills came in from the thralls. It was a useless distraction, so Sofia turned off those notifications. Arriving to the ruined city on the high plateaus with a bit over 2 minutes and a half remaining, Sofia made a beeline for the largest mana signatures. It's my lucky day. Tartaros was fighting some sort of bloated obese ogre wearing human corpses stringed together by their entrails as a necklace. Sofia arrived just in time to see Tartaros give the killing blow, punching a hole through the monster's head. Judging from the impact, the saint had already unlocked his strength. Sofia started falling, and Tartaros looked up. Damn, orc still has good senses. Sofia urgently stopped her fall. Tartaros could probably still kill her in one blow if she wasn't careful. At this time, Parith jumped off, letting go of Sofia's hand. The monster fell over, a mithril-colored key appearing over its large belly. We can't let him get that. Sofia dived down. She tried to lock Tartaros's bones in place, which barely slowed him down. Tartaros grabbed the key and rolled away from Parith, landing where he had been an instant ago. It disappeared from his hand as Sofia finally arrived in range. She completely froze Tartaros' bones in place, allowing Parith to safely land a clean strike, shattering his spine. Tartaros might be able to resist Sofia's specialization somewhat, but after such a clean strike, he was too destabilized for that. Sofia broke all the bones in his body, crushing his brain and internal organs. Now, his heart. Parith punched a second time, shattering Tartaros' mana heart, which his bones alone couldn't break. You have eliminated Tartaros. You have received Minor Unlocker *1. You have received Major Unlocker *1. And the saint fall a second time. Love's excited voice resonated through the city. This might already be over, folks. Such a huge gap. Can the other contestant even come back from this? Quick, change the view, here. Oh my. Another fight just broke out between Seraph Sen and the Andorian Ma, Sofia heard Love say as her voice faded once again, as quickly as it had come. Azerid and Sen are fighting right now? Let's sort through this shit fast and go kill the winner. Sofia thought as the skeleton of Tartaros and the monster he had just killed were sent to the halls as soon as they started to reanimate themselves. The minor unlocker was another substat 1, Sofia threw it to Parith, who immediately unlocked 33% of his health, while the major unlocker was actually new type, looking like a Damian Steel. The unlocker dropped are not necessarily the same type they had. Major unlocker, item, unlock any one of your items, storage items accepted, but not their content. Dagger. You have unlocked the item, the third key. Title changed to Demon. Title change function is locked for the next 24 hours. Demon, you sold your soul to a dark god. Bold. Effect, amplifies your demonic aura. /ephemeral/ will be lost if you are rejected by your recessed aura. Estimated aura range, distance from mana heart. Close, 18.9 meters. Field, 189 meters. Far, 5.67 kilometers. 50% boost. Insane. 110 seconds left. Perith summoned an exalted exoskeleton of his own, and the duo took to the skies again. With no indication of where to go, they flew up and toward the clearing at the center of the highland, keeping an eye out. It only took Sofia a few seconds to locate a spot with strong mana movements in the mangrove on the opposite side of the island. Found you, boys. Sofia flew down while going in that direction, closer to the canopy. She could grab all the thralls that entered her field aura directly into the halls. As she got closer, she still couldn't directly see the fighters, but traces of the battle could be seen in the burning trees. And Love's voice started coming into existence. A thunderous blow, yet not enough to shake Sen. But it looks like this fight is about to get a lot messy. Look out! Skeletons! Sofia flew over the battlefield, not even stopping. She only did one thing. Unshackle the halls. Chapter 699, with Love. It rained skeletons over the two fighters. The thralls landed everywhere around them, their bones shifting with the bone arsenal to become something else. The arms of slashers became bone blades, the guardians became taller and larger, their arms like large shields, and the few archers started shooting bone arrows. A single night thrall emerged from Tartaro's skeleton, becoming bigger with its own bone armor, sword, and shield, before the exalted exoskeleton overlapped with it. There was no big fight or struggle. Sen and Azarid were both already tired, having unlocked offensive abilities instead of their stamina, and they easily got surrounded. Their movement restrained, Perith jumped in and killed Sen with a slap, while Azarid was captured by the night thrall. Restraining someone without killing them being right about the absolute limit of how complex an order a thrall could understand under skeletal frenzy. You have eliminated Sen. You have received minor unlocker *1. You have received major unlocker *1. Sofia down, grabbing the keys and turning toward Azarid. Doing well, she asked, while the night thrall held both of the Andarian's hands behind his back. He was not even trying to struggle out. I have had better days. Are you not going to kill me? He asked. There's no rule against teaming up, is there? Sofia answered. Is this your idea of teaming up? He asked back, looking at all the skeletons. Hoi hoi, I see what you're doing with your mana, you better stop that before you do something you will regret. Sorry, Azarid apologized, whatever magic he was preparing fading out. I'll act like I didn't see anything. So, simple, you come with me, gang up on my sister's fake, I let you have second place. Deal. The no deal option is to die here. You're quick on the uptake, Sofia teased. I will graciously accept second place then. Great. We have about a minute left to kill her, just give me a second to use the unlockers. Minor is active skills, major is another any skill. Here, Perith, take this one, I get heat death for safety. Sofia thought as she threw the minor key to Perith. Twin, has unlocked sanctified grounds. You have unlocked heat death. Can you fly right now? Sofia asked Azarid. Taxing on my stamina, but I can. Alright, the skeletons will carry you then, let's go. Sofia took up to the skies, followed by a swarm of skeletons, each with their own skeletal wings. Saria was somewhere in the last, desert-themed zone, and she was rather easy to locate as the only person left alive on that side of the island, followed by a trail of skeletal thralls on her tracks. Whether it was the thralls doing or hers, they had gotten rid of everyone else. Not many people still alive in general, it looks like. Sofia watched the desert area from above. She's in that pyramid out there. It would be dangerous to go in there myself. Azarid, she's in there, do you have any way to force her out? I do, but that will be all of my mana. Do it, I can take it from there. Azarid nodded, closed his eyes, and started channeling a spell. Sofia recognized the same mana structure he had used to unleash the light beam that had killed Pestle and Happy Cloud during the first night's event. But instead of being an instant spell, this time, it slowly started to create glowing ritual circles in the sky above the pyramid Saria was hiding in. At this rate my demon form is going to run out before he's done. Sofia patiently waited as Azarid powered up his spell. She checked her thralls in the meantime. They were all over the island, quite a few of them carrying unlockers pilfered from their victims. There were not many people who had progressed fast enough to fight back against the skeletons, and even those were starting to get overwhelmed by the sheer number. Any monster they killed to get stronger turned into one more thrall, bolstering their numbers. Not to mention that the thralls had started also hunting the island's monsters to turn them. The demon form ran out. Sofia did her best not to show anything as her body morphed back inside of her armor. Infinity Engine kept her mana unaffected, but her body would still be weak for half an hour, which was only worsened by her currently abysmal stats. At the same time, the pyramid exploded, a four-winged blue dragon flying out like inverted lightning in Sofia's direction. Izarid unleashed his spell, even incomplete, but an instant too late. It only severed half of Saria's tail as she flew out and up, activating several of her own spells on the way. With the health of a level 20, Sofia couldn't take a single hit. Sofia ordered Perith and the thralls to stay behind, as she cancelled every single of Saria's offensive spells before they could even materialize. That left the main issue to deal with, the dragon itself. Izarid was almost completely out of mana, but he still cast some kind of wide mana screen between Saria and the group. The dragon shattered through the barrier, and flew directly to Sofia, claws ready and maw open, about to spew draconic flames. Stop! With the perfect timing, Sofia exerted her control over Saria's bones. Her sister's claws just centimeters away form her chest. She would not be able to hold her for long, the dragon's strong aura fighting back against her own, stopping her from reshaping Saria's bones at all, because just stopping her was a strenuous exercise in and of itself. Thankfully, Perith and the thralls were there, and Saria found herself attacked from all directions by flying skeletons, completely unable to defend herself. It was a matter of seconds before she was weakened enough for Sofia to finally get enough control to shatter all of her sister's bones. The broken fragments form a hand that moved inside of the draconic body, and grabbed the mana heart, before wiggling its way out of an open wound like parasite snake with an egg in its maw. You have eliminated Saria Afinareth. You have received Minor Unlocker *4. You have received Major Unlocker *1. Sorry, sister, Sofia said, but your fake is really lackluster compared to the real thing, isn't it? Didn't even try any emotional manipulation or anything, just a straight-up surprise attack. Honestly disappointing, don't you agree? Do you have a way to communicate with her? Izarid asked, still held by the night thrall. No, but she must be watching, Sofia answered, gathering the unlockers, unlocking random things, hoping it might give her bonus points. Right. I'm surprised we're not hearing Love and Ergak's commentary right now. Are they watching someone else? Saint Tartaros. Sofia shook her head. Tartaros is the skeleton helping you fly right now, Sofia explained, pointing at the night thrall. Oh. Yeah. I also got Sonia, this only leaves Happy Cloud unaccounted for. Haven't seen him since the start. But he ran in this direction, I think. He wasn't far from Saria, so I could see that. She probably killed him, then. Is it already down to just us? Izarid asked, flabbergasted at the realization. Maybe. There are many mana signatures all over the island still, but they could be monsters. My skeletons are searching everywhere as we speak. In what is perhaps the most anticlimactic finale ever. Is it time to activate an island event? The trio heard Love say, her voice gradually coming closer. She appeared out of nowhere, a human-sized fairy, wearing garish clothes and with a face covered in colorful makeup. Or will you duel to the death? What is it going to be? It's an honor to meet you, Izarid greeted with a curt bow. Is it only us three left? Indeed. This has been one of the fastest rounds of Last Man Standing on record. Unless you kids want to stay for the 10 minutes mark meteor shower. Izarid looked at Sofia. A deal's a deal, he said with a nod, before casting a tiny light beam aimed at himself. He plunged his hand in the light beam carved in his torso and fished out his own mana heart. Second place. Isn't so bad, he mumbled as his body convulsed and died. Whoa. He just killed himself. Is the event not ending? Sofia asked after 5 long seconds of silence. Ah. Gak. What are you doing? Love asked, tapping on was what probably a system window that Sofia couldn't see. This isn't in the script at all. Did I break something again? Sofia asked. No, no. It's Gak, I don't know what he's doing. Stoop. All over the island, things started to move. The trees of the forest unrooted themselves, becoming walking monsters. Strange towers started rising out of the side of the mountain, meteors appeared in the sky, geysers of lava erupted from the desert, a giant wave came from the sea toward the mangrove while parts of the plateau on the other side started sinking into the ground. The entire island seemed instantly engulfed in a giant cataclysm. Did that stupid Kleptra just press all the toggles? Does he want to see me die that much? Love herself seemed to be frantically trying to fix things through an invisible system window, while Sofia and Perith could only watch as the event broke. I mean, it's not like I would lose points by dying now, right? A shrill sound pierced Sofia's ears, and suddenly, everything faded to black, aside from Sofia herself, Love and Perith. The thralls, the island, even the sky itself all disappeared. Ah! Oh! Love looked back at Sofia. I think I broke it. I can see that. First time. No. But we're stuck here until someone outside fixes it. Business as usual then. Why is it all black instead of all white this time? This is the last fail-safe instance before the entire arc collapses. But Nex is here. I'm sure this will be fixed quickly. If you say so. Well. Nice meeting you, I guess. This is not how I imagined love, I have to admit. This is not how I imagined someone chosen by the four forbidden ones either. How did you imagine that would look? I don't know. More. Full of eyes and stuff. That's you gods, I'm perfectly fine with just 2 eyes, thank you. And what did you think I would look like? More. Elegant. What? I'm very elegant. I even had Zote help me dress up today. Zote? Like. The Kleptra. You know my saint? She's so cute, isn't she? My lovely Zote. Love said with exaggerated motions. She was very expressive with her body language, a bit comically so. Especially with her current outfit and makeup, she looked like a royal buffoon ready to bust out jokes in a musical number. Your saint? The saint of love is a Kleptra. That's... Yet. Haven't met her but I have heard the name. There was a bit of an awkward silence. So. You wouldn't be interested in lending a few essences, by chance? Lending implies you will give them back, Love seriously answered back, her extravagant and whimsy personality gone in an instant. Wrong word, my apologies. But you do get the point. Since the answer was not a straight no, I assume we can negotiate something. Perhaps, Love said with narrowed eyes, but that'll have to wait for after the trial. No mixing work and personal life. That's a big no-no. She leaned forward, holding her face, as if lying down on a bed, her feet kicking up in the air. Maybe if you manage to beat the final boss I can consider gifting one for free. Deal, Sofia answered right away, putting a hand on Perith's shoulder. Watch us. Chapter 700, Strike a Deal. Love delicately pulled a thin bone out of a pile, and it all collapsed. No, so close. Want to play something else? Sofia asked. That's your third loss to Perith in a row. Love sighed and let herself fall back. No, I'm done. I'm too bad at this stuff, you win. Yes. Sofia rejoiced, pumping her fist, you better keep your end of the deal. It's fine. The Seraphs won't be happy but I get the final say. I'll let you use the system spectator mode for your friends' trials, but that's it. That's all we want. Would you take pity on this poor goddess and still build me a small temple? Love begged with joined hands. Well, not for free, Sofia answered with a smirk. Come on, that's not worth an essence and you know it. TSSK sure. How about you help me get one more piece of the saint set, then? You already have 4, right? I don't know where the others are, but I could ask Zote to find them. Is that really a good idea? Why would it not be? My Zote is very reliable, you know. Alright then. You get me one more piece of the set, I build you a temple in my city. Let's go. Is it really going to help you that much, though? Love shrugged, maybe not, but everyone has been shunning me ever since I took my cute Zote under my wings. Can you believe that? All because she likes to sleep in my temples. Oh. That was something I would have liked to know before agreeing to build one. Aha. Well. How bad can it be? To hide her discomfort, Sofia changed the subject. By the way, I have been wondering, why the appearance of a fairy? Don't you find it cute? The Fae are all so lovely and cute, it's too bad that they don't do love very much. That's it. Hey, I mean, you're not wrong. Pestle is the cutest though. I think you may be a bit biased. Can't say I'm not. It's starting to get long, are you sure they're going to manage to get us out of here? Any chance this was external sabotage from the same people who tried to ruin my last trial? No, no. No danger, I don't think. It's taking a bit longer than I thought, but surely nothing is wrong. Here, let me teach you my rune to pass the time. Sofia spent about an hour stuck in the black backup instance with Love, before she was sent back to her room suddenly, without even a chance to say goodbye. Ah! I guess it's fixed. It was night on the Ark, and there was nobody else in the room, just Sofia and Perith. Well, that wasn't too bad. Let's check if we got the scores. Last man standing, event rankings. Rank 1, Sofia Afinareth and Perith, twin rule set. Rank 2, Izarid Rhodes. Rank 3, Saria Afinareth. Rank 4, Linden. Rank 5, Marinda. Detailed results. Tier 2 event, maximum point reward, 145,000,000 TP. First place reward, 15,000,000 TP. First place completion time bonus, 7 minutes 32, 15,000,000 TP. Hidden objectives completed. Aura farming, kill someone without even being aware of it, 1,000,000 TP. Double kill, kill 2 people within 15 seconds of each other, 10,000 TP. Triple kill, kill 3 people within 15 seconds of each other, 100,000 TP. Quadra kill, kill 4 people within 15 seconds of each other, 100,000 TP. Pentakill, kill 5 people within 15 seconds of each other, 10,000 TP. Monster, kill more than 10 people, 100,000 TP. Absolute monster, kill more than 25 people, 20,000 TP. Balanced, kill more than 50 people, 50,000 TP. Tourist, visit every biome of the island, 1000 TP. Revenge, kill someone who damaged you in a prior battle, 5000 TP. Speedster, obtain the first major unlocker, 500,000 TP. New boss in town, kill a biome boss in a single hit, 10,000 TP. No you don't, kill someone while they are using an unlocker, 10,000 TP. Lucky, somehow complete the event without going through a biome event, 1000 TP. Sacrifice, someone killed themselves to give you a better score, 10,000 TP. Monopoly, earn more unlockers than you can possibly use, 100,000 TP. Extinction, wipe out more than half of the island's monsters by yourself, 25,000. Uncapped total, 149,637,000 TP. Total earned, max 145,000 TP. You have received rank 1 reward, Ark's Gold Star Pin *1. You have received 145,000 tournament points. Current balance, 449,101,126 points. Still barely half of what a single master item costs. Wait, this was a tier 2? Hey! I suppose it's not usually as easy as it was for us. Getting the demon form early just broke everything. It looks like telling the thralls not to kill the real people paid off. Marinda managed to get 5th place, not bad, glad I could help. To think we barely made it to the maximum points despite how much we dominated. That's crazy. And most of the points were just from the thralls killing everything and everyone. Well. All group events so far have been tier 3, so the next one will be the same I assume? I wonder what they still have in store for us after all that. Sofia and Perith left the room, deciding to keep searching for the last of the hidden shops. Just as they began their search, they both received a system notification. Arc notice, due to unexpected fatal errors, the next event will be replaced by backup group event, Panic on the Ark, Crazy Ride into the Sunset. This event may start at any moment, you will be given no warning. Staying with your group is advised. Sofia looked at Perith, looks like we need to go find the others. Finding Cooley and Morn turned out to be an easy task, as they were both on the main deck, much like most of Trialee's, fake or real. It turned out that 3 tournament masters had appeared on the deck. They were mechanical people in grey armor, each wearing a different master item that people could challenge them for. Similarly to every other master item, just beating them at their game was not enough to get it, it was just one of the requirements to be allowed to buy it. With nothing better to do, everyone challenged the masters to wait for the next event, notably, most people were watching a certain elf try and fail several times to get past the challenge of the sword master. No! Morn shouted as her sword was sent flying out of her hands by the master. Another sword appeared in her hands, and she reset her stance. Again. The sword master nodded, took a step back, and resumed attacking the elf Saintess. One had to stand their ground in the tiny circle drawn around the sword master for a full minute without being struck or losing their sword, no magic allowed. What is her best time? Sofia asked coolly after the guild master had finished explaining what was going on. 52, coolly answered, almost there, but that thing gets a lot faster at the end of the timer, she explained. I've not seen anyone else get past the 30-second mark, but I have only been here half an hour. What about the other two? The shield is trickier, coolly said, it's a single attempt per person, you are allowed to strike the shield once, and you win if you manage to damage the master without taking damage yourself. That sounds simple. Should be, but the shield seems to reflect damage in a weird way, and anyone who struck it strong enough to damage the master got hurt in return so far. Myself included. Before Sofia could even turn to Perith, he was already in front of the shield master, raising his weapon, making it take the shape of a gigantic hammer. Hey! Wait for my buffs! And don't forget the bone armor! With bone armor covering Perith's skeleton, his hammer struck down, banging loudly against the shield. The shield master's life, displayed above its head, went down from 100/100 to 99, and a wave of strange cursed mana was blasted back towards Perith. This, it seemed, was meant to damage him back. It must have been damage lesser than 10% of his health, however, as it did absolutely nothing to Perith. See, Sofia said, turning to Cooley again, it was simple. Cooley rolled her eyes and returned to spectating Morn. No wonder they need a backup event, she said with a smirk. Morn managed to finally beat the sword master not long after, leaving only the necklace master undefeated. Seeing everyone look at her while she was checking the description of the master's sword, Sofia giggled and walked toward the last master, which Arid had been struggling with for a while. I get it. This one is for me.